giveaway. And guess what? After that entire stream, where's the volcano, bro? I ain't seeing it.
And hopefully the event will be happening tomorrow, guys, because it obviously didn't happen tonight.
Oh, but I thought you said it was finally happening, bro. 100,000 subs and a silver play button, by the way. Fortnite event right now. 40,000 sub channel. Oh my god, guys, look at that. The counter's going down. The event's about to happen. Volcano any second. Son of a bitch is not even at his chair. A volcano forming in Loot Lake right now. Can't believe it. This is all these streams are. Live volcano event. Enter V-Bucks giveaway. Subscribe and type VIP in the chat. So all these kids essentially subscribe trying to win a giveaway, and it gives these channels big sub growth, pushes their stream to more and more people, yet it's all just complete garbage. Look at this screenshot of the top streamers. These are all just streams of people sitting at Loot Lake for days at a time. They mislead people and they scam people in order to get subs and stuff, and it's just bullshit. It makes us all look bad. Now, most of these guys like Pack-a-Puncher are just young, dumb, doing whatever they can to get subs. Please do better. You have talent. Please do better. But I'll forgive him, right? Then there's Quebblecop. All my experiences with him, great guy. But like, what's this, bro? Quebblecop, 9 million subs. What are you doing, bro? What the fuck are you doing? Knows exactly what he's doing, and it did it anyway. Now, my boy Queb didn't just live stream this, right? It gets so much worse. Because if you're live streaming, you can make the defense. I thought it was happening. I thought it was happening right now. Not only did he live stream it, he uploaded the stream video while still having the title Fortnite Cube Volcano event happening right now. Yeah, I'm clicking through this whole thing. Yeah, mate, Queb, not seeing it, mate. How you gonna make your title right now when it doesn't even happen in your stream? This is another level. You already have 9 million subs. Oh, dude, you're better than this. You're a good guy. You're better than this. How to open Loot Lake. How are you going to suggest you could even remotely open a lake? Lakes are not things you open and close.
If I was him, I would genuinely try to evaluate everything and look at it with open eyes, because I do think that he will have a, because he's so good and he's so talented, he's a great prospect, he will have leverage.
Tim Tebow on Trevor Lawrence. If things continue to go at the same rate in the college football scene, this April, hopefully in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, and not from his man cave basement, NFL fans will most likely hear Roger Goodell announce with the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson. However, with the ability to return to Clemson for another year, will Trevor Lawrence remain where he is as college football's top quarterback? Or will he cash in on signing bonuses and sponsorship deals to put on the NFL jersey and hat of the lowest of low NFL teams? Will Trevor Lawrence be the hero that New York fans long for to bring an awful Jets team from the bottom to the top? Let's look at what kind of player Trevor Lawrence is, the golden boy of the ACC and the talk of every college game day. Also, why is it that he is already the projected player to go #1 overall this spring? So what's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here, and before we get to the content, guys, please take a moment to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications. If you want to go the extra mile to support us, we just recently released channel memberships. And if you have any other players that you would like us to do a bio on, please suggest it in the comment section down below. Now that we got all that out of the way, break!
Everything about Bombas socks is made to give. Are they stylish and colorful? Check. Do they fit any foot? Indeed. Are they comfortable? Very. Do they scream fun? Well.
Trevor Lawrence is a 6'6" tall 21-year-old from Cartersville, Georgia, a manufacturing city of a little over 20,000 people that's known to draw tourists to its museums and archaeology sites located 75 miles northwest of Atlanta. Hailed as one of the most highly touted quarterback recruits out of high school, he easily broke numerous state records that Deshaun Watson set prior to him getting drafted by the Houston Texans. Trevor Lawrence led his Purple Hurricanes high school team to a streak of 41 straight victories in high school, 4 regional titles, and 2 state championships. Now, Trevor Lawrence is a well-known name for college and NFL fans as he is in his 3rd season as the quarterback for the Clemson Tigers, an ACC and college football powerhouse. Trevor Lawrence in his junior season already has a national championship and an MVP trophy on his shelf. Compared to the Samson of college football, the most iconic physical feature of Lawrence, besides his height, is his shoulder-length dirty blonde hair, which in every media clip seems like it's just been professionally blown out. However, he attributes his good hair to a cheap drugstore shampoo called Pantene. And no, I'm not kidding, this isn't a sponsorship for Pantene, he literally uses Pantene's shampoo. Really though, the hair can barely be seen on game days under his helmet and can't earn him any endorsement money until he is finished with his college eligibility. So what is much more valuable than his flowing locks is Trevor Lawrence's arm strength, accuracy, and ability to protect the football, and most importantly, his capability to win football games. Trevor Lawrence began his 2018 freshman season at Clemson as number 2 on the depth chart and was splitting playing time with number 1 quarterback Kelly Bryant. Within 4 games, Bryant made the decision that he would transfer, giving Lawrence the keys to the championship caliber offense of the Clemson Tigers. After winning all their games, winning the ACC championship and winning the Cotton Bowl, and moving on to face Alabama, a team who didn't seem to lose to anyone, Trevor Lawrence powered the Tigers to a 44-16 victory, which was Nick Saban's worst loss ever as Alabama's head coach. Naturally, Lawrence won the ACC Rookie of the Year award, was named National Freshman of the Year, and was the College Football Playoff National Championship Offensive Most Valuable Player. His true freshman stats of 30 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and 3,280 passing yards, in which he completed over 65% of them, pegged him as a top-tier collegiate quarterback and already an NFL prospect. Last season, Lawrence upped his completion percentage to just over 65%, tossed for 3,665 yards and 36 touchdowns. However, with 8 interceptions and a brutal loss to Joe Burrow's LSU team in the national title game, his sophomore campaign put him a little more on the scale, pointed to actual human than absolute football Superman. Of course, this 2020 football season is a very important one for Trevor in order to prove his doubters wrong. But this season has been anything but ordinary. Due to the pesky COVID-19 pandemic with an abbreviated season in all sports, and each week everyone associated with athletics holding their breath on whether a game will be played or not, it is hard to see the full picture of the strengths and weaknesses of any players, especially those considered elite. Good luck to the NFL scouting departments out there. Clemson didn't get a normal off-season training program and preseason practice schedule in, and they didn't play their first football game until September 12th. However, Clemson has been luckier than others to start the season anyway. In Clemson's season opener against Wake Forest, Trevor Lawrence did not disappoint as he completed 22 of 28 passes for 351 yards and 1 touchdown in the victory. The very next week against Citadel, which was a cupcake game for Clemson, Trevor Lawrence had more touchdowns than incompletions, notching 4 touchdowns and only 1 incompletion, and put up an impressive 88.9% completion percentage in the 49-0 rout. The first challenge of the season came on October 3rd against the University of Virginia, but Lawrence was ready, lowering his shoulder and rushing for 22 yards for a first down just seconds into the game. And thanks to his 3 touchdowns and going 25 for 38 for 329 passing yards and the support of a solid Clemson defense, the Tigers came out on top. On October 10th, Clemson faced the U, who were ranked number 7 in the country. It would be their first true test of the season. The Jets personnel department's mouth started to water when Trevor Lawrence completed over 70% of his passes for 3 touchdowns and 292 yards in the 42-7.
Guys, now I can admit I am a little hard on you guys. But I don't know. You're the best ice boys out there. I don't know if there's anybody else. Confidence has to remain high at all times. To help me get this message across, I'm calling the paper because I love you.
Rebelsis works differently than any other diabetes pill to lower blood sugar in all 3 of these ways. Increases insulin, decreases sugar, and slows food. The majority of people taking Rebelsis lowered their blood sugar and reached an A1C of less than 7. People taking Rebelsis lost up to 8 pounds. Rebelsis isn't for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Don't take Rebelsis if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid disease or have multiple endocrine neoplasias if allergic to it. Stop Rebelsis and get medical help or swelling in your neck. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Rebelsis with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Wake up to what's possible with Rebelsis. You may pay as little as $10 per prescription. Ask your healthcare provider about Rebelsis today.
17 victory over the top 10 ranked Hurricanes. Through the first 4 games of the season, Lawrence had yet to throw an interception and was looking very NFL worthy. The next week against Georgia Tech, Clemson's offense easily put up 73 points on the road as Lawrence had 404 passing yards and very impressively 5 touchdowns. That number of 5 touchdowns was a first for a Clemson quarterback since Deshaun Watson in 2016. Clemson scored the most points on the road since 1915 in that game. The many highlights included a touchdown that began with a fake pitch from Lawrence that basically froze the entire field, in which the quarterback found his tight end for a wide open seam route. Then just before the half, a perfection of a throw to within a 4-inch by 4-inch spot to find his tightly covered receiver in the back left corner of the end zone put a drafting #1 stamp on his stat line. On October 24th against Syracuse, Trevor Lawrence led Clemson to another win, 47-21, a game in which he threw for 2 touchdowns and completed 27 of 43 passes. Lawrence did throw a pick 6, the first of his career in that matchup against Syracuse. It was a game in which the Tigers were heavily favored, but had a hard time blowing the orange out of the water until later on in the second half. However, Clemson seemed to recently have a hard time overcoming the subpar Syracuse team. In 2018, Clemson actually lost at the Carrier Dome 23-27, but here is how Trevor Lawrence's interception played out. On a 1st and 10 with just over a minute left in the first half, Clemson was back at their own 12-yard line. Clemson receiver Amari Rogers was wide open in the seam, a normal occurrence for the Tigers, but Lawrence's pass was picked off by a Syracuse freshman defensive back who returned it 39 yards for a touchdown. Trevor's throw wasn't the greatest, behind his receiver and off center, and the ball bounced off of Rogers' hand right into the opposing defensive back's paws. That October 24th game would be the last we'd see of Trevor Lawrence due to some unfortunate circumstances until November 28th. On the Wednesday before Halloween, Trevor Lawrence tested positive for COVID-19, causing him to miss 2 games. First was a matchup against Boston College, was able to complete the largest come-from-behind home win in school history, keeping their #1 status alive. However, he was also out of the crucial November 7th Notre Dame game, in which the Tigers lost in double overtime, losing their #1 ranking and Lawrence losing his status as Heisman frontrunner. This would have been pivotal for scouts to pick Trevor Lawrence's game apart against one of the top teams in the entire NCAA, and scouts were pretty much robbed of that opportunity. On November 21st, Clemson traveled to Florida State with Lawrence healthy and ready to start, but the game would get canceled just 2 hours before kickoff after a Clemson player tested positive for COVID-19, and Florida State refused to play, which ended up being deemed controversial, especially by Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney, who made some attacks towards demanding his team receive a forfeit from the Seminoles, a true sign of the strange times we currently have in sports. That would leave Trevor Lawrence with 2 regular season games, and against the Pittsburgh Panthers, he absolutely dominated with 26 completions out of 37 attempts, throwing over 400 yards and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. There's only 1 regular season game left against Virginia Tech for Trevor Lawrence to show the NFL what he's worth. More than likely, there will be postseason games, including a possible round 2 against Notre Dame, which everybody should be looking forward to. Even with this shortened and oddly unique season, all the writing on the wall says that the winless Jets will draft Lawrence #1 overall. That is, unless he announces a shocking revelation that he is staying at Clemson for his senior season, which everyone doubts he will say that he is staying, as he already has a national championship trophy from his freshman season, plus enough statistics to stay in the record books for some time. But this wouldn't be the first time a player has pulled off such a stunt. Back in 2011, Andrew Luck was destined to be chosen #1 overall by the Carolina Panthers, but he decided to return to Stanford for another season, eventually getting drafted by the Indianapolis Colts. There are rumors about Trevor Lawrence trying to do whatever it takes to avoid the Jets, because the Jets did spend a #3 overall pick on Sam Darnold 3 years ago, and it appears as though they have failed him so far. This is referred to as pulling a John Elway, because John Elway did a similar thing back in 1983, demanding that the Baltimore Colts trade him to a different team and he would not start for the Colts. More recently, Eli Manning also pulled off a similar stunt, which is the very first video we have on this channel. What if Eli Manning stayed with the San Diego Chargers? I'll leave a link to it in the end screen. More than likely, Trevor Lawrence will have to accept his fate, just like Joe Burrow did last year. Hopefully it doesn't turn out the same way for Lawrence as it did for Burrow, who is now on a long road to recovery after his knee was absolutely decimated due to a terrible offensive line that wasn't able to protect him at all in his rookie season. I guess Lawrence could hold on to the small hope that perhaps another team could swoop in with a trade that would save Trevor Lawrence putting on the green and white. But if you ask me, and I guess we're going to have to cover this in a separate video, the New York Jets might be the best place Trevor Lawrence could go to build a team around him. So why is Trevor Lawrence so revered as a prospect? Well, the truth is he really is a phenomenal football player who is able to escape when pressured and has a compact delivery, allows him to adjust his arm angle very quickly and get the ball out even quicker, very similar to what Patrick Mahomes could do. He has been able to display his creativeness on designed quarterback runs and is pretty freaking fast. Trevor Lawrence is also not afraid to lower his shoulder on defenders, but is more likely to outrun the defense than to fight for extra yards. His completion percentage has been very good, but sometimes there are underthrown balls, and hopefully we will get to see him against Notre Dame for round 2 this postseason and see how he fares against the transcendent defense. Although he is very fast to read the progression, moving through the second and third very quickly, sometimes his feet and vision are not perfectly paired up, and his accuracy could be a little off as a result, which, against the strong secondaries that Clemson will face in postseason play, could result in more interceptions. What's probably the most ironic thing about Trevor Lawrence is that he is very reminiscent of another Clemson and former Georgia high school standout in Deshaun Watson. Lawrence is quite a bit taller than Watson, and both are able to make plays from inside and outside the pocket. They can quickly get the ball down the field and put up a winning drive in no time. Watson is better at sham moves to mislead an opponent, but Lawrence is faster in the straightaway. Being compared to Watson is pretty good for Trevor Lawrence, as Watson is holding his own in the NFL and just needs some more pieces around him to really shine. Unfortunately for Watson, it appears as though the Texans went the opposite way of doing that this past offseason, because now not only does he not have DeAndre Hopkins, but Bill O'Brien traded the future top 10 draft pick that they would be deserving of this year to the Miami Dolphins for Laramie Tunsil. So what's next for Trevor Lawrence? Every play of his will be critiqued and scrutinized, and every quote of his will be under a microscope. In October, Clemson coordinator Tony Elliott gushed about the way Lawrence handled the external noise about the future, saying he's really being present in the moment. He's fully comfortable where he is. He's embracing every opportunity that he gets to run out there, and he's not thinking about the future. He's just trying to hone in on being the best version of himself for his teammates. Meanwhile, everyone will be crossing their fingers that the college football season will actually be able to be completely played out, including the conference championships, college football championship, and national championship game. Most importantly, they hope that Trevor Lawrence will be the quarterback in those games. Everyone will also at the same time be paying attention to the NFL, watching if the Jets continue to hold the #1 overall draft spot by putting up a disastrous effort each Sunday until the new year, which they are doing a great job of so far. Will Trevor Lawrence try to pull a John Elway and Eli Manning to make a power move after his season and demand that he will not go to the Jets? Or are there any other teams that will show interest and try to slide in with a trade to move up in order to grab one of the most transcendent quarterback prospects of the past decade? As everything has gone in 2020 so far, only time will tell. Thank you guys for watching our analysis on Trevor Lawrence. If you guys made it to the end of the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, because chances are I have more content that you would enjoy. If there's any other players that you'd like us to cover, let me know in the comment section down below. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
In today's video, we're going to see if we can make butter in a clothes dryer. I got you some butter.
Thank you. It's very runny.
It's, well, there's some steps to it. It's still butter.
It's unprocessed.
It's as unprocessed as you can possibly get. It's heavy
Butter.
whipping cream.
This is cream. It's not buttery.
It's not butter. Here's the basic idea. We have some heavy whipping cream and we have some heavy duty containers. We're going to see if we can throw that whipping cream into the containers and then into the dryer, and if it will shake or agitate the containers enough to make butter. A while back, like a long while back, I was in a pioneer camp. I was probably
45 years ago.
It was 21 years ago. 21 years ago, I learned how to make butter in a glass mason jar at a pioneer camp. You guys have also seen this done on the channel. Grant actually tried to make butter faster than a toaster could toast a piece of bread by shaking a container of whipping cream. Is that right? Okay, so neither of us were on the channel yet, but our camera guy Mark has some great stories about this. Apparently, It's a pretty entertaining process. You basically just
Put whipped cream in a jar, and then you shake it as hard as you can
as fast as you can for as long as you
for
can.
like a minute and a half, and you can sometimes get it to break, which is where it separates out into the fat that turns into the butter and the other liquid water that doesn't get made.
So we have a few different ways that we want to try and make butter today.
One of them is based on a suggestion from you guys. We were asking about things we should make in the washing machine, and butter was one of the recommendations.
It's
However,
fantastic.
the vertical washing machine, while it does shake around and stuff and does get some agitation, we thought it would work a lot better if we could get some tumbling action going on. So we thought, well, if we're gonna use tumbling action, let's use the dryer that isn't gonna pour water onto everything while we're doing it.
We also don't want to use a glass mason jar for that, or even a plastic container for that matter, because they could crack and break. So I got this lovely metal camping canister, which should be, in theory, be waterproof.
And then to
There's
protect
some
the
water in it.
machine it goes into, we're going to wrap it in a towel or two. So cream, metal container, towels, dryer, and we're just gonna put it in, turn it on, and see if we get enough tumbling action to get some butter out of that.
You think it's loud when you put a couple of tennis shoes in your dryer? See what happens when you put a metal canister in there.
I think that will work. We haven't tested it yet. I suspect that will be enough of a tumble. But we also have a method that will hopefully go a little faster. If you remember, this is our paint shaker. Well, it's designed for shaking things. That's literally its whole point. So
That's what it does.
we're gonna try just putting our glass jar with the cream in our paint shaker and see how long. I honestly think this will make butter in like 15 to 20 seconds
Yeah.
maximum. It might go as fast as 3, depending on how high we turn it up or something.
But yeah. Ultra pasteurized heavy cream, mono and diglycerides, carrageenan.
I'd say carrageenan.
Carrageenan.
Seems pretty foolproof on the spelling there.
Fault-proof.
Fault-proof,
Fault-proof.
sure.
All right.
Well, let's get this
Yeah,
wrapped.
that's good to go.
Got some towels.
I think 2 towels
I
might
think
be
it'll be just
overkill.
fine. We have more than we need perhaps, but it's just the goal is to make it so it doesn't damage the machine. So it just thump, 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 thump instead of clang, 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 clang. And we are going to try and set the dryer on little to no heat so we get all the tumbling, but without trying to cook it. We're not trying to make hot cream
we-
butter, melted butter.
Yeah, then it's just melted butter and it won't separate correctly. So we're using our actual dryer today. Yeah. Here we go.
Now, while our other butter container is donking around in our dryer, we're going to try donking around. We're going to try and put this heavy whipping cream in a jar into our paint shaker. Also, hopefully our glass jar is just fine.
We're gonna wear glasses just in case. Go!
I think we have succeeded. You can see all that very runny liquid. So it started with runny liquid, and then we shook it up and it turned all into like the whipped cream texture, and by continuing to shake it, we got it to break, starts to clump up, and I think we now have the butter and the non-butter solids in there. Let's pour this out. Callie's grab it.
It's much bigger now. You're cold. It's getting colder, oh so raw. Mom, look. Are you okay? Feeling like I'm shut out.
Head home this holiday with the one you love. The Mercedes-Benz Winter Event is going to be done.
Having us some dishes.
This took longer than we thought. It took 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Now,
I thought this was going to happen in seconds.
I think that that's probably because it's such a smooth agitation.